Well, 3 years ago, Scarlett, this company was supposed to be making money now. And now it's supposed to be making money by 2020. And I'm guessing, by 2019, we'll hear about 2025. This company is structurally unprofitable.
Welcome to Electrified. It's your host, Dylan Loomis. Quick shout out to Leonard, my newest patron. I greatly appreciate the support. Very quick reminder, today is indeed, sadly, the last day to grab one of the Gordon Johnson mugs. I will be ending the listing tonight at midnight, so today is your last chance if you are interested. So, those of you that have been with the channel for some time know that I don't really care when billionaires do anything with their Tesla stock holdings personally. There are millions of reasons that people buy and sell Tesla every single day. It does not affect the fundamentals of Tesla one bit. So no, Chamath selling his Tesla stock is not a problem for Tesla stock, and it is not a problem for Tesla the company. However, it is a big problem for his own credibility and for how some of these billionaires are choosing to operate. Let me explain. So here we have a video from January 7th, 2021. Chamath is talking about Tesla and Tesla stock, so let's have a listen to see what he had to say.
And I'm telling you right now, Scott, the big disruption that's coming is to power utilities. There are trillions of dollars of bonds, of capex, of value sitting inside the energy generation infrastructure of the world that is going to go upside down. And when that goes pear-shaped, Tesla will double and triple again. And I think, I tweeted this a while ago that I thought the world's first trillionaire would be a person fighting climate change. It very well could be Elon, but if it's not him, it'll be somebody like him, but it'll be because of this. Delivering clean energy, allowing the world to be sustainable is an incredibly important thing that will be rewarded by markets and individuals.
And you're just going to ride, you said 2 or 3 times higher than where it is now. You're just going to ride that wave?
Scott, I don't understand why people are so focused on selling things that work. Let's just, I'll make up a number. Let's just say I owned $1 billion of Tesla stock. If I sold it, now I have $1 billion problem. What do I do with that money? What about if it was 100 million? What about if it was just 10,000? 10 billion? It doesn't matter what the number is. The point is that when things are working, you're paid to stay with people that know what they're doing. And this is a guy who has consistently been one of the most important entrepreneurs in the world. And so why bet against him? It's the same thing with Bezos. Why bet against him? And there are a handful of other people. Anthony Noto, who we just talked to today, is yet another person. You get behind these people who have incredibly strong character, who know what they're doing, who aren't going to bend to short-term profits, and who are just going to drive the train for 10 or 20 years and make the world a better place. Get behind them. The best way to summarize this, by the way, is a friend of ours who we mentioned earlier, Bill Gurley, has this great phrase: when the music's on, you got to dance. And so these guys are dancing. They are in rhythm. They're in flow. Let them do their thing. Get behind them. Don't sell a share. Just let them create value.
So for some context, on the day of that Chamath interview, January 7th, 2021, Tesla stock opened at $777 a share and closed at $816. So let's just say $800 a share for simple math. Chamath said that Tesla would double or triple from that price, which would take us to, you guessed it, $2,400 per share. And what did he say at the end of that interview? Don't sell a share. Well, fast forward to today and let's hear what Chamath has to say. Here we have a new Chamath interview, September 29th, 2021, which was Wednesday of this week. Let's hear what he had to say now.
You still have a sizable stock position in Tesla?
No.
You sold it?
Yeah.
When?
Over the last few years, we've sort of, not last few years, like really in the last year or so particularly, the prices allowed me to, again...
Surprised to hear you say that after what you just said about the company.
Well, I don't have an infinite pool of capital. I'm myself. I don't raise funds. I can't go to other people. And so when I have these ideas, the money has to come from someplace. The only other solution would be for me to get totally levered up. And I'm just not comfortable with that risk. And so, I'm a meager guy with meager means.
Yeah, right.
So there you have it. Over the past year, which would go back to September 29th of 2020, Chamath has been selling Tesla stock, while during that time period, he was literally on air saying, "Do not sell a share," trying to hold up the Tesla stock price while in the background he is busy selling his shares. So, if you ask me, yes, this is actually a problem for Chamath and for his credibility, and as I said, for how these billionaires operate, using their media influence and their social media presence to say one thing while in the background doing another. Now, the silver lining here is that actually not selling a single share and listening to what Chamath actually said is the right move for probably 99% of regular, everyday investors. Buying and holding Tesla stock over the next 10 to 20 years is a great move for most people. It is a high upside stock with a very safe floor, in my humble opinion, not financial advice, but what I believe to be the truth. And it's this type of behavior by Chamath that is not acceptable and should be called out. Now look, I know some of you are saying, well, maybe there was just a better opportunity because that is exactly what he said. He needed some capital to invest elsewhere. That alone is not a problem, but lying about your actions and telling the public to do one thing, don't sell a share, while behind the scenes he is selling shares secretly, that is the part that is not okay. It's that duplicitous nature that has such a scammy, sleazy, I'm only about myself type of feel that I really do not support, I cannot get behind, but please let me know. Am I the only one here? I would love to know your thoughts on how Chamath handled this situation. Let me know below. Oh, and actually, I'm not done. One more thing. At the end of that interview, he said that he was meager. Well, definition, lacking in quantity or quality. Let's assume he was lacking in quantity. There you have his net worth. So for a billionaire to say that he lacks in quantity, although yes, it was a tongue-in-cheek comment, really rubs a lot of people the wrong way. It's just an absurd comment to make. So Chamath taking a big L on this one from me. Anyway, let's move on. So there was a good article by The Atlantic, full article linked below if you're interested, but they highlighted Ford and SK Innovation were lured to Tennessee with $500 million in incentives, and Kentucky actually gave Ford $300 million and more than 1,500 acres of free land. So this is all about the incentives that Ford received for their new $11 billion investment that we covered in an episode earlier this week. But here's the thread to watch. With these new factories, Ford is edging into a more anti-union environment. Both Tennessee and Kentucky are right-to-work states, meaning local laws prevent unions from requiring that only unionized employees work in a certain facility. Add to that, in an interview, Jim Farley, Ford's CEO, played coy about whether each factory will be unionized. And one more thing, last week, the company, Ford, announced that it was investing $250 million, which comparatively is a pittance to this $11 billion new EV investment, to expand their EV production at its unionized Michigan facilities. Now, sure, some of this union stuff is not definitive, but no one's really talking about the potentially anti-union situation that Ford is quietly sneaking into, taking on some of these incentives. So, what do you guys think? Next up, I just thought this was hilarious, as did I Heart Tesla, this license plate for a Nissan Leaf. Pretty good stuff if you ask me. Next up, some of you Android users out there that have been struggling to get the Tesla safety score, I've included this link below if you want to sideload the latest Tesla app that does indeed have the safety score. Next up, this chart was shared by Troy Teslake on Twitter. Does great work. Follow him if you don't. As you can see, it shows the trend of the Fremont inventory units in this column and then the days of production over on the right. I just want to highlight over time, you can see how the inventory has steadily decreased, especially into 2021. Yes, a lot of this is caused by the chip shortages and pair it with the high Tesla demand, and you can see why their inventory is now holding below 10 days of production, which historically in Tesla's context is indeed very low. Next up, am I the only one that is also wondering what in the world is going on with the Model X? I'm just simply assuming it's chip shortages and things of that nature, but we really have not heard anything. Elon hasn't answered any questions about the car, so I'm really hoping that on this Q3 call, somebody asks the question, what's going on with the Model X? It's seemingly the forgotten Tesla vehicle. It's still cheaper than the Model S, which also doesn't really make sense to me. I would just love some answers. Am I alone here? As of now, the estimated delivery for the Model X long range is May through June, and it is the same for the Plaid, May to June 2022. Next up, Sawyer got some news that he's been told as of January 1st, 2022, Tesla will officially start matching employee contributions to their 401k retirement fund. I was slightly surprised to hear that Tesla wasn't doing this to some degree already, but of course they have indeed been giving their employees options instead, and as No Apple No Life said, ask any long-term employee at Tesla if they would have preferred to get a 401k match 10 years ago. I think the answer would be no. For some reason, this picture of the 1 millionth battery built at Giga Nevada was making its rounds again today on Twitter and Reddit, but just so you guys know, this is indeed old news as this started going around about a month ago, so in case you missed it, there you have it. Next up, apparently Jeff Bezos has been spreading some information and documents trying to say that Elon and SpaceX have been just as litigious as he's been, basically prone to sue other people. But Elon said in defense to all of this, SpaceX has been sued to be allowed to compete. Blue Origin is suing to stop competition. And last up today, Lisa Su, CEO of AMD, has said that she kind of agrees with Elon that toward the end of 2022, the chip situation may improve. To this, Elon said AMD has been great to work with, and then Lisa said, thanks Elon, great working with the Tesla team as well. So it's great to see this new romance between Tesla and AMD budding. As we know that AMD has been providing the APU and RDNA2 based GPU to Tesla to use in the new Model S and Model X infotainment systems, which explains Tesla's bold claims noted on its website that up to 10 teraflops of processing power enables in-car gaming on par with today's newest consoles. AMD is one of the leaders in the chip space. I'm a big fan of their company, and Lisa Su, clearly Elon and team are as well. But that is all for today. Please take a second to like the video. If you did, remember only about 12 more hours to go and grab a Gordon mug if you're interested. Hope all of you have a wonderful day, and a huge thank you to all of my Patreon supporters.